colleagues, my name once again remains inhuman, member representing Ukanafu Norogonam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. I rise to present this motion, and it's a call to condemn the trend of inhumane treatment in Nigerian boarding schools across the country and comprehensive investigation into the activities of Nigerian boarding school system. The House aware that boarding students, apart from having classes together, eat and live in the same house. Most times they are only separated when they all go home to their parents or guardians during holidays. While there is no way to make a broad conclusion as to whether boarding schools are good or bad, some recent developments in Nigeria have triggered public outrage as many share their experiences. Note that the social media has been agog in the last few days following the report on Sylvester Oromoni, a 12-year-old boy who recently passed away on the 27th November 2021 while nursing multiple internal injuries alleged to have been sustained after he was beaten by his fellow students who were bullying him at a boarding school. The parents of the deceased said he was attacked for declining to join what he termed as the secondary school sports group, dominated by older boys at Dowen College in Lekki, Lagos. Note also that another incident leading to the death of 14-year-old Karen Hapok Andodo Akpaya of Premier Academy, Lugbe, Abuja, on the 22nd day of June 2021 is one that left many heartbroken.
Honorable Blessing, please concentrate.
Our parents narrated how their daughter was sexually assaulted and later died of complication as a result of a condom left in her private parts. 6 months later, there is still no news of a suspect being arrested. Cognizant that following the two recent cases, some Nigerians on the social space have been voicing out their bitter experiences with boarding school system of oppression. A public analyst who spoke on the trending issue said bullying is a major pandemic in Nigeria boarding school today. Also, social organizations have attacked the Ministry of Women Affairs and Education over their silence and complacency on the several incidences of killings and abnormal behaviors in our boarding schools across the country, describe their position and inaction as disappointing.
Honorable Osai, allow leader to concentrate. Honorable Osai.
Cognizant that the federal government should, without delay, launch a national campaign. The campaign should include advocacy, public sensitization, and social mobilization, as it will take the joint effort of government, school management, and parents to curb ugly happenings in our boarding schools. All hands must be on deck to curb the spread of this new trend. The House resolved to condemn in strong terms the recent incidences of inhuman treatment and abuses happening in the boarding schools across the country. Urge the Federal Ministry of Education to set out guidelines for the operations of boarding schools across the country. Mandate the Inspector General of Police to immediately commission and take over the investigation, prosecution, and punishment of the perpetrators of the identified heinous crimes. Mandate the House Committees on Education, Youth Development, and Women Affairs and Social Development to follow up with the investigation. Set up committee to brainstorm and come up with the modalities and report to the House within 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Seconder. Yes.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Obinna Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Incidentally, this is one of the motions I was billed to move this morning, but our brother has taken it.
We have allotted 2 minutes to you, and we are going to stop you by the time we are 2 minutes exactly.
I just need a minute. So I need to put just an amendment to it since he has taken it extensively. The amendment will include that the House do observe a minute silence for those who have died from this brutality, and the House also commiserates with the families. It is very important for us to send this strong signal that our children cannot be treated in this way. There was one more case in Kwara, if you remember, that trended, where they were giving corporal punishment to a student in Kwara. These incidences cannot happen. And on the criminal aspect, for the IG of police to investigate thoroughly and give us a feedback for all the schools and parents and the PTAs to know that the National Assembly, especially the masses, the House of the masses, cannot fold their hands and see things happen to our children. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Obanikoro.
Again, I'm Representative Ibrahim Babajide Obanikoro, represent Etiosa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the Sylvester Oromoni case happened in my constituency, and I've been involved in the investigation. Like my colleagues have said, I just want to add to the prayers of the motion that the newly created Safety Standard Committee and Committee on Education to conduct a review of safety regulations and guidelines in public schools. In this particular matter, there are 5 students that are involved, and all of them are a flight threat, and that their names should be placed on the no-fly list, and that the school, as shut down by Lagos State, will remain shut until investigations are over and the school is cleared of all these allegations, and that the death of young Sylvester should be investigated thoroughly. That's my submission and admission to the motion ably moved by my colleague.
Yielding the floor to me, my name is Kolade Akinjo, and I represent the good people of Ilajese, the Federal Constituency. First, let me join others to appreciate the mover of this very clever and very instructive motion. The population that is impacted by this action is quite huge. The compass of development of this country is resting on this young generation. And there's nothing wrong with private schools because we run almost a private economy. But there's something wrong with the regulatory authorities. They owe it a responsibility to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and to Nigerians to do proper oversight and regulation of these institutions. You cannot leave the boarding schools without proper regulation. So it is the responsibility of the regulatory authority to do what is right, to save Nigerians from this embarrassment. It's a huge embarrassment for those boarding schools to be converted to Curtis medium. And so I wish to join the mover of this motion, to raise my voice against this very heinous crime, and to also say that the regulatory authority must do the needful on behalf of Nigerians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank the good people of Otukpo Ohimini Federal Constituency. I am from Benue State. I'd like to amend that the social workers of Nigeria be added to this bill or to this investigation findings that we are doing, because we know that the social workers, they are not doing anything. They should be sent to every school in this country so that they can look into such matters when it arises. I so amend.
Seconder, Chidoka.